So here we have George, and we're out here working on his recall, and I'm going to explain what it is we're doing as we go along. So I'm going to get some distance, hopefully, from him. He does like to follow, so we'll see. George, come. Yes, good boy. So I make a noise. I used a whistle there just to cue in his handler focus, getting him to look at me, and then I use that come command in an excited tone of voice. George, come. Yes, good boy. Good boy. So the reason I get him to look at me is if he's digging or he's off doing something and I don't cue in that handler focus first, then he's not listening. It's almost as if his ears are off. So if he's distracted, cue in that handler focus. Come. So the second he looks at me, that's handler focus. Good boy. And that's when I want to give that come command in an excited tone. This way he's excited to get to me. George, come. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, he's such a good boy, George. Come. Yes, good boy. So not everybody can whistle, and if that's the case with anyone in your family, there's other methods to getting his attention. See if he loves to just stick with. We'll just wait till I get some distance. What are you doing? You gotta go play. Go play. George, come. Good boy. Good job. So sometimes clapping your hands works just as good as whistling. It's any type of sharp or exciting noise, something loud. So a whistle is kind of sharp. The clapping noise is like obnoxious in a sense that gets his attention. But any type of noise that goes, anything like that, like a kissy noise, something that just gets him to look at you. That's the biggest importance, is him looking at you before you give that come command. George, come. Yes. So in that moment, he was already looking at me. Once he makes eye contact, I know those ears are on. George, come. Yes, good boy. Good boy. He's so gentle. He's trying to get that treat from me. He's such a good boy. George, come. Yes. So right there, you notice I changed up the noises I was making. I tried to be a little more obnoxious and loud, and I got him to look at me, and that's why I gave that come command. Another thing you can do if he's looking at you and maybe not coming up is get on his level, and I'll show that here in just a second. Good boy. Yes. So say he was a little bit more of a distance from me, and I made noises and he looks at me, but he doesn't want to come right up. Not always happening with him, so this is just on the off chance, but this is a tip to like how to get him to come up to you. Is if he's sitting there at a distance, you make those noises, he looks at you, get on his level, be like, yes, good boy, really excited tones of voice, and he'll come running up, no problem. The worst thing to do is follow after him if he's not coming up. The best thing to do is walk the opposite direction. George, come. Good boy. Because if I walk away, he's going to want to follow me. Whereas if you or a kid gets excited and you want to follow him because he's not listening, off. Good boy. Then you're going to actually make it a game for him to run and think that you're chasing him. So the best thing to do is walk the opposite direction. We're going to do one more good one and then end with his strongest commands and some praise. George, come. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Sit. Good job. Good boy. George, down. All the way. I know the ground is a little damp. Sit. Down. Yes, that's a good boy. The ground is a little wet, and I think that's just why he doesn't want to, because it's also a little chilly. Good boy. But he's doing a partial lay down, so I just know him, and he does know this really well, so it's probably just the ground. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. George, sit. Yes, good boy. And then lots of praise. So this is us ending on a good note with his recall, and then ending on a really good note with his strongest commands, and ideally, he will look to our next training session. Good job, George. Good job. Good job. Good boy.